Welcome to the first episode of Talk. I'm Francesca.
And I'm TanshiM. So this show is basically to discuss different important and current topics.
And today we'll be talking about a variety of things that impact the lives of girls as they go through puberty.
Because everyone loves puberty.
Exactly. So let's start off with some statistics about body image.
31% of girls aged 13 through 17 admit to starving themselves or refusing to eat as a strategy to lose weight.
That's way too many, and that doesn't even tell the full picture. 31% of girls won't eat, but how many of them are going on crazy diets or pushing their bodies to the limit with exercise? And even if they're not taking it to extremes, it's a pretty well-known fact that many girls feel unhappy with their image. PBS mentioned that the number of girls who disapprove of their appearance is about half.
And no one can escape the media. Did you know that by the end of high school, most teenagers spend more time watching TV than spent in a classroom? It is hard to truly escape media and the messages they may project onto women.
Yeah, 60% of girls ages 13 through 17 say they compare their bodies to fashion models.
And until recently, models needed to look a certain way. Body positivity campaigns have been taken up by companies such as Dove, American Eagle Outfitters, and Khloe Kardashian's company called Good American, a jean company that sells sizes 00 to 24 to increase inclusivity. The companies listed also include diversity not just in size, but in ethnicity and other social identities. Still, popular companies among teenagers such as Brandy Melville continue to push for a smaller body type, not only with their skinny models, but with their one-size-fits-all policy.
Right, so we can acknowledge that there's definitely been some progress, but it's not where it should be. We can look at a huge influencer as an example, Victoria's Secret. Now, in their 2017 show, almost 50% of their models were either Latina, African American, or Asian American. And that's way up from only 30% the year before.
Right, but the Victoria's Secret show viewership has been declining each year, which means until recently, more people have been watching the less diverse show.
Exactly. In the less diverse show of 2016, 6.7 million tuned in to watch The Angels. But in their more diverse show, 2017, it was only around 5 million.
And even still, their diversity remains only in ethnicity and race. Not a single model in the 2017 show was plus size. Not to mention the recent scandal where the chief marketing officer, Ed Rozek, revealed that Victoria's Secret refuses to cast plus size and transgender models. But that also brings us to another point about shifting consumer demands. If Victoria's Secret is getting less views, then it would seem that people actually care about buying clothes that are shown on a diverse set of models. More people care about what a company displays as its values.
Definitely, and that could be why many brands have launched their own body conscious or other campaigns.
Right, for instance, Dove launched their Real Beauty campaign in 2004.
Right, and they have tons of videos and you can check them out on YouTube.
My favorite one was where they had a sketch artist make drawings of women based off descriptions of themselves that they gave. Then someone else came in and ascribed the same woman to the artist. The difference in the two drawings were incredible. The woman described themselves much, much worse than how the other person saw them.
It's really sad to see how poorly women view themselves.
We have to start building self-esteem at a younger age, an initiative Dove has also taken on. They've led workshops and talked to 19.4 million people in over 131 countries. So there's definitely been a push to promote diversity in beauty and authenticity.
Can you think of another example?
CVS. They launched its beauty market initiative in 2018. Basically, all images are not retouched, and that's to promote a healthy self-image.
It's really great to see that companies that provide products to women are doing something to make themselves feel good instead of showing unattainable standards. One of my favorites is the #LikeAGirl campaign by Always.
What's that about?
Well, in the video that I find most impactful, they ask boys and young ladies about our age to perform tasks like run like a girl or throw like a girl. And no surprise, the older kids do all of them as if they can't hold up the weight of a baseball or don't know how to control their limbs as they run. They have flailing movements and show little coordination.
That's a scene that might look familiar to a lot of people.
Exactly. But when they ask young girls the same questions or tasks like run like a girl or throw like a girl, they gave it all they had. They ran as fast as they could and made throwing motions that were strong and confident.
So why do you think that happens?
Well, I've definitely seen a stigma that arises as girls develop between them and sports.
That's really sad. Do you think that's less of a problem now? When did the video come out?
The video came out in 2014, so it's pretty recent, but maybe that isn't as much of a problem in this area, right?
Yeah, California is a bubble in a lot of ways.
Precisely. Even so, the Women's Sports Foundation did some research and found that by age 14, girls drop out of sports at double the rate of boys.
Why do you think it's so many?
I definitely think puberty plays a big role in that. As girls develop, they seem to be less confident and more displeased with their appearance. For example, in a speech that Emma Watson gave to the United Nations in 2014, she mentioned that when she was young, her friends started to drop out of sports because they didn't want to appear too muscly. Do you think that's a big factor here in why girls quit sports?
In my own experience, I've never met a girl who's quit sports because of the fear of looking over muscular. But I have met someone who maybe worked out too much to get a flat stomach, which just circles back to what we were talking about earlier.
Right, so maybe there are other reasons that contribute to why girls quit sports. I remember that when I played softball, every year our coaches would ask how many of us wanted to play in college. And every year the number of hands would drop. And I definitely think that's because as we got older and started thinking about our futures, we realized there was no future for women as an athlete. And generally speaking, if you become a professional athlete, if you're a woman, you're not going to be watched as much as male athletes are watched, and you're not going to get paid nearly as much.
So the fact that girls drop out of sports at such a high rate when they hit puberty is probably a combination of both these two things.
If not even more, yeah.
Well, we've talked about a lot today. We've noticed that girls and women are having a lot of issues regarding self-image.
And we've also seen that the problem is being chipped away at by lots of different groups, which is fantastic, but there's still a lot to do.
That's all for today. See you next time on Talk.